So Cameron is flip-flopping again on Europe. Only a few days ago, Cameron said at yet another pointless Brussels summit on the EU that he rejects calls for a referendum on the EU. He said he does not support an in-out referendum as it is not the right thing to do. As an aside, have you ever noticed that Cameron is always so moralistic and talks about doing the right thing all of the time? In almost every speech you hear, he always says it's the right thing to do or doing the right thing. Well, he's instructed to say this line because his advisors know that the public are only half paying attention. And if they hear him spouting on, in sound bites everywhere, saying it's the right thing to do all of the time, well, they can go back to sleep, safe in the knowledge that everything is being taken care of by someone who is doing the right thing. Anyway, does anyone remember Cameron promising an in-out referendum on the EU before he became Prime Minister?
In 2005, all of the major political parties promised a referendum on the European Constitution. Why does this matter? Why do we need a referendum? And why do we need one now? First, why this matters. The European Constitution, now called the Lisbon Treaty, includes a massive transfer of powers from the nation-states of Europe to Brussels. It ends our veto, our right to say no, in about 60 areas. It sets up a permanent president of the European Union, a foreign minister, a diplomatic service. It gives the European Union the right to sign treaties and to pass new treaties, new constitutions, without asking us again, the people of Europe. That's why it's important, that's why it matters. I think it's taking Europe too far. I think we need powers to come back from Brussels to the nation-states rather than the other way round. Why do we need a referendum? Well, I think when our Parliament is giving up powers, is passing powers to someone else, they should ask us first, the people.
Then, as soon as he became Prime Minister, he flip-flopped again and said, actually, now I won't be offering you an in-out referendum on the EU. Cameron even went so far as to demand that his MPs voted against a parliamentary vote offering an in-out EU referendum that was brought about by receiving over 100,000 signatures from the general public. This was a lovely little example of the illusion that we call democracy in action. So now, having only a few days ago said that offering an in-out referendum on the EU was not the right thing to do, today he has decided that actually offering a referendum on the EU is in fact the right thing to do, but at the right time. There's always a caveat. Cameron is following an agenda to get us further integrated into Europe without us noticing. However, as we awaken as a nation and as we collectively heap more and more pressure on him to do the right thing and do what the people want for a change, he is now having to please everyone. Over the last week, he's kept the people who want more European integration happy by admitting that he doesn't want an in-out referendum. But today, he's appealing to the Eurosceptics, saying he would offer an in-out referendum. He is all things to all men, depending on the audience. This way, the Eurosceptics will think they will get their referendum, so they won't push very hard for one because they think it's coming. But Cameron knows otherwise, and like he did before, he will disregard what the majority in every poll about an EU referendum says, and he will not hold one. You can read Cameron like a book, and not a very good book.